Hello and welcome today to our first session in a series of sessions we're going to have during our AI Masterclass series here for Tealium. Today's first session, we're going to start off focusing on AIStream, Tealium's new product offering and its capabilities and how that relates to customer experience, customer data, a response to the current environment that we're in today. I'm joined by Tealium CEO, Jeff Lunsford. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for joining me today.
Hello, Dustin. Great topic. Looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, me too. And to set the stage, we're going to be covering four aspects of this topic today. The first is going to be setting the scene. What are the current drivers and pressures, the challenges, as well as the opportunities that are afforded by the new technology progress that's happening with AI? We're going to follow that up with a discussion about AIStream, Tealium's product and capabilities that allow for this advanced management and orchestration of customer data in response to AI. We're going to then sandwich those things together, how AIStream is the right capability and technology for responding to the challenges and allowing you to have opportunity to take advantage of the technologies that are there for you today. And then fourth, we're going to end it with examples of actual practical ways our Tealium customers are using this technology to change and make an impact in their customer experiences and generate ROI and save on costs, all of those good things. So with that, we're going to hand it over to Jeff, who I'm so excited to have here as our first guest. He is really someone who has impressed me as not just an absentee executive. He really gets in the weeds. And every conversation I'm in with him, he understands the concepts, he's adding value, he's asking good questions, not just in Tealium conversations. Jeff, I know you're also talking to a number of other leaders at other companies. You're always talking to our customers, you're talking to investors, you're talking to other board members. So you have this great breadth of experience and exposure to what's going on. So with that, why don't you set the stage for us? What are you seeing out there in the market? What's different today? What are the challenges we need to be aware of?
So, uh, Look, AI is upon us. All companies are thinking through strategically and with urgency what they need to do to react. If you talk, let's start with the boardroom conversations. So there are really three strategic force vectors that AI is applying to enterprises. The first is customer experience. The second is an efficiency mandate. And the third is a privacy and data governance mandate. And companies, every board of directors is telling their leadership teams, hey, go figure out how to use AI to grow faster and do it more efficiently. Oh, and by the way, don't get us sued, by the lawyers for privacy or the regulator, fined by the regulators. And so every company is along those three vectors. And we'll talk a lot about customer experience today. But trying to figure out how they can help AI or use AI to help them with those enhanced customer experiences. Those then drop through to efficiency, right? Because if you can deliver personalized experiences that convert higher, guess what? You are going to grow top line, and you're going to do it with a much lower cost per conversion. We were just down in Sydney, Australia for DV Sydney, and we had a customer on stage showing 78% lower cost per conversion by using this technology. So what we're seeing is, and obviously privacy, compliance, and data governance, that's a given. It's not real exciting, but it is a must-have. And it's that one of the biggest concerns especially in the regulated industries. We work with a lot of banks and telcos. Is the leadership is a little bit concerned and actually telling people tap the brakes before they put things into production because they want to know the provenance of the data that's been flowing into these AI projects to make sure they're not going to have either data leakage or put a model out there that was trained with data from unconsented customers or something like that. So, but those are the three big areas, and we can then get down into the customer experience projects that we're seeing out there in the field. If you'd like to go there next, or where would you like to go, Dustin?
Yeah, well, I think that's really great points. It's everyone can see the promise of what the technology can bring, but not everyone is calculating for like the cost of if you get this wrong or if you're not set up right. The idea that if you train a model on data you don't have consent for, you can't just carve out that piece of data that you didn't have consent for. That model is useless, and all the time and processing power that went into training it is sunk, and you have to restart completely. And at the same time, these agents aren't free either. All of these applications of AI all have costs for the model to run, for these different pings that are going on. And so you want those to be as efficient and knowledgeable as possible with the right context, with the right prompts, with the right awareness of those customers. So they're doing more actions in fewer steps,
Yeah.
which is where I want to go to next of what is AI Stream? What is that in compared to, Tealium's vision and Tealium's product features that we're offering to customers?
So the number one, we just got off doing Digital Velocity, London, San Diego, and Sydney over the last 3 months, and that made me connected with thousands of our customers and partners, and had a bunch of real-time conversations. And everyone is learning on the fly here because this technology is advancing so rapidly. But unanimously, what everyone would agree to is that the number one success criteria to do anything successful in AI is to have a great data foundation,
Yes,
right?
100%.
And I mean, it should, and in the number two, I'll tell you that they'll all agree on is organizational change, right?
Mm,
It's not a technology problem at all, but it's
a
getting
people problem.
basic, yeah, and now we can help with that by having a common data layer and
Hmm.
satisfying number one, which is having that great data foundation. So AI stream is Tealium's answer. We're big believers in real-time data. We feel like, just like we saw with web analytics and with tag management, where we were able to replace batch file processes that were delayed and suboptimal with real-time platforms that gave much better results.
Hmm.
We believe that in the AI era, the same thing can be done. And so if you look at most AI projects today and where they're getting their data, it's ETL processes doing extract and then pipelines, and then they're doing data wrangling and data labeling, and the data stops in multiple places, which creates cost and security vulnerabilities. Data wrangling and data labeling are very expensive workloads. And so we said, let's take a fresh look at this. Let's create an AI data supply chain. Let's start at the point of data creation
Hmm.
and do what Tealium does best, which is collect data, allow customers to enrich data, to filter data, and then to stream the filtered streams of enriched data. While, by the way, at the point of collection, tracking consent and all the way through, and then activating that data, sending that data downstream to whatever AI systems and regular classic, MarTech CRM and other systems can benefit from that data. And so that's this whole trusted data collection side of uh, data for AI purposes is the first half of AI Stream, and the second half of AI Stream is post AI. So now you've done this wonderful magic with your AI, whatever you're trying to do. Are you trying to, just score something? Are you trying to classify things? Are you trying to think next best product or recommendation? Are you trying to do sentiment analysis? Whatever you're trying to do, once you get that answered, you need to activate that within the customer experience systems that you use. And so Tealium's connector marketplace and all our integrations allow us to, again, in real time, activate the output of the AI model, and also then stream that enriched profile downstream into whatever their customer data warehouse preference is, be it Snowflake, Databricks, BigQuery, Azure, AWS, whatever they're using for the kind of deep historical analytics purposes. So AI Stream is real-time data collection with consent status, then enriching that data through whatever enrichments you want to program into the system, then fill and visitorizing that data with an identity function, and then streaming both the event data and the visitorized data to the places where it is needed. And if from an AI perspective, a fraud model is going to have, you're going to send different
Mhm.
parts of that stream to the fraud model than you're going to send to, let's say, next best action questions, right? And so filtering and sending that data for activation, then sending it to its final resting place. All that happens in real time so that you get much better results, right? Because we've proven again and again and again that real-time experiences that are fueled from real-time contextual behavioral data in a session convert at 4 or 5x the rate that 24-hour
Mhm.
data yields. And that is what AI Stream is.
I love it. And my favorite part of AI Stream is how much it aligns to the vision and the goal of Tealium as a company since its inception, 15 years ago, of just your first party data as an enterprise is one of your most valuable assets. And now that is just 10, 100 times more true because of what you can do with it with AI when it's real time, when it's consented, when it's available where it needs to be at the right time, and then can be activated to actually change customer experiences and suppress messagings or encourage or increase messaging or personalization where all that needs to happen. So it's such a natural evolution of our product. I think it's a perfect fit for what we're doing.
100%, Dustin. And we actually have what we call the Tealium data value equation, since I'm
Mhm.
an old math geek, which is basically zero party data plus first party data to the power of AI equals amazing outcomes.
Mhm.
And at our conferences with our customers, we've been having our customers go on stage and describe some of these amazing outcomes. I'll give you one example. So, Rorman Auto tripled their conversion rate of this gentleman owns 31 or operates 31 automotive dealerships in the Midwestern US. And when you're running a car deal, you know what a conversion is pretty obvious. It means someone bought a car and drove it off your lot, right? So they went by going from classical kind of digital marketing to this personalized marketing using real-time contextual behavior. They went from a 10% conversion rate to a 30% conversion rate, right? This is a 200% lift. It's a tripling. It's amazing.
Unheard of.
And
So crazy.
yeah, and that's one of those amazing outcomes
Mhm.
so the formula isn't a joke. It really is amazing outcomes. And I was around in 1995 with the team that launched Security First Network Bank, the world's first internet bank. You can Google it. And I would think that 30 years after launching the internet bank that, we'd be actually just really optimized at this point and shaving off
Mhm.
1 and 2%,
Right.
kind of
Just the
improvements.
tiniest tweaks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yet here we are, we're going from 10 to 30% conversion rate. We have people on stage saying they improved, cost per conversion by 78%. We had people in Australia saying they 7x'd click-throughs. I mean, it's just phenomenal what can happen when you go with personalized and real-time data that is AI boosted, let's call it.
Yeah. No, that's so great. I know some of the customers I've been talking to recently, one of them is really thinking hard about what product abandonment looks like. That for a long time the thought has always been around, okay, well, what they were adding to their cart is what we should then go push for them to come back and purchase. And that in itself was revolutionary at the time, and there's still a lot of companies seeing value from that. That's still something we set up. But they started asking themselves, is that what we want them to buy? Right? We're already engaging with them. And so they started integrating not only this customer behavior, but then also what they also knew of their inventory, of their margins, of other, shipping components, and adding all of this into a neural network that would create an equation and then produce a customized, personalized promotion to this person because they knew they were engaged. And it would still take in the inference of the category or the type of product they were interested in. But now it's promoting a better business result for them because they're combining that data together and doing again in real time on that real time behavior to then go change the customer experience to make sure it's the most impactful experience for their business.
Yeah. That's where you go back to those three mandates, right? So
Hmm.
customer experience is great, but you're satisfying that efficiency mandate by making sure you're getting the best kind of margin product for them that's available at the time, and you're doing it all in a privacy compliant way. So you're satisfying all three of those strategic mandates. And yeah, we're seeing it everywhere. It's crazy what's going on. And we'd love to work with any customers or prospects that are interested in understanding more.
Yeah. No, it's a great overview. I've really appreciated your insights here. Any closing thoughts that you want to make sure people have as they're considering AI stream and as we move into the rest of this AI masterclass?
Well, yes, we didn't talk about agents in the agentic future, so we
Yeah,
definitely should
let's dive into that.
yeah, let's spend a little time on it because I was just in Dallas with two large and very forward-thinking customers yesterday, and one is a global chip manufacturer, the other is a global media and entertainment company, and everyone is trying to understand what agents mean to their business and when they should put agents out in customer facing agents out there and what are they going to look like? And then what about when agents are coming inbound, like their customers' agents are coming inbound to their
Mhm.
digital presence and how are they going to handle that? And, look, our view is that I'd say within the next 2 to 3 years, companies are going to see a probably doubling of the number of digital interactions because let's say they have 100 interactions per day today, just to use round numbers.
Yeah.
Well, those through web, store, mobile, and IoT devices, whatever, there's going to be another 100 that are going to be added to that. So you're going to have 200 total. So these old channels aren't going away, right? You still have to do everything you're doing there. But the new channel, the agentic channel, you're going to have because now people can talk to you while they're driving in their car, while they're, my daughter's bouncing her baby on her hip and she's saying, hey, AI, go shop for this or go book me these movie tickets. And that voice enablement that AI is bringing forward is going to mean you're going to have that many more interactions as a company. And so you need to be prepared. What we were saying at Digital Velocity is that you're literally risking losing a generation if you are not prepared to engage with your customers who prefer to talk to an agent than talking, either typing on your website or calling the call center or walking into your store. And there are going to be many people who prefer that. Like, look,
Hmm.
in 2010, if you didn't launch a mobile app, you lost a whole generation. In 2000, if you didn't launch an internet site, you lost a whole generation.
Yeah.
And let's call it in 2028, if you're not engaging with your customers with agents, you're going to lose a whole generation because there are going to be a whole bunch of AI native people where it's just intuitively that's how they engage with the world. And if you can't engage with them, and so then there's two types of agents, right? So there's a human form who sits there on your website and talks to people, right, and
Yep.
engages with them. And we're going to put one of those on our website next month. And it's growing so fast. 90 days ago, I would not have even shown you this prototype. Now, last week, I showed it to 400 customers, and by next month, we're going to be ready to put on our website, right? So
Mhm.
we've trained a brain on all this Tealium specific knowledge, very lifelike interaction, and you can just talk to this and ask it all sorts of deep questions about Tealium, but only Tealium because we put up the
Hmm.
guardrails. And so every company is going to want to have that kind of agent that is there ready to talk to their customers and depending on the business type, maybe even transact with the business. And then the other thing that's going to happen is customers agents are going to come shopping or browsing or whatever, and you're going to want to have an optimized platform for serving up the data that those agents want to see to do their job right in a optimized way. Because if you can't engage with that, and that's going to be through APIs, it's not going to be by doing it pretending it's a human and going through your website. That's not optimal, right? So this
Yep.
is just like having an optimal website. You need an agent optimized digital front door for inbound agents, and that's where MCP and A2A and all that, whatever's going to evolve from there come in. And so, we think that that's happening very fast. We're leaning in. We're launching our own next month, and we think all companies need to be preparing with a great data foundation, everything you need to do this half where the classic multi-channel, omni-channel customer experience, Same great data foundation is what you need for this new app of all these agentic interactions, both human to your agent and then also your customer's agents to your, let's say, agent optimized interface.
Yeah, totally agree that this is just going to pressure test what is that first party data foundation you have to respond in this new paradigm. One thing I've been reading a lot about, as we're all very excited about AI, is people evaluating where we're at in this revolution, because this is a technology revolution that we're going through right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the best way to do that is to look back at the last few and see, break them down into stages or phases. And there's lots of different ways people have categorized these or things. One I liked recently that I read was from David Robb, actually, of the CDP Institute, and he was talking about these four stages of substitution, transformation, infrastructure, and then paradigm shift. And you can see this with electricity and the horse to the car or the internet of like you just start switching things of like, okay, I used to do it this way, now I do it this way. But as you transform it, as your infrastructure changes to actually take advantage of these new technologies, now you unlock new things that you couldn't even have imagined you could do with this new technology. And I feel very much that we're in that infrastructure stage now, as we're starting to see the MCP, the agent to agent protocols. This is the new infrastructure that's going to replace how information is exchanged, how technologies talk to each other, all very much based on your first party data. And so if you're not investing in that infrastructure now, when the paradigm shift continues to happen and happens in a way that we can't even predict, you won't be ready unless you've put those pieces in place to have those agent to agent interactions, to have those very personalized at scale interactions with the human to agent interactions as well. So it's all just becoming more and more important to invest in this infrastructure for your first party data foundation.
Amen. Couldn't agree
All right.
more.
Well, join me in a couple of weeks for our next session. We're going to be diving into even more specific topics on your first party customer data and how that relates to your customer experiences and how you can unlock even more potential for your brand and your business with your first party data strategy. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Dustin. See you all.
See ya.